Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to a brand new series of tutorials. Today folks, I'm going to be showing you how to tame thralls in Conan Exiles. Of course, this game has been out for a while, so this is a game that I've just recently started playing, and as with all games, I do generally tend to make tutorials and guides to help people out. So if you folks enjoy this video, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment. And of course, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos. Now, one of the main things that you can do in Conan Exiles is, of course, tame thralls. To do that, you will need a couple of requirements, which I will go through in a bit. First things first, you will need a wheel of pain. Now this is what the lesser wheel of pain looks like. This is what the inventory looks like of the lesser wheel of pain, so you will need to put gruel in there, and that is where you will put your thrall once you have knocked it out, and it will take quite a bit of time to tame the thrall. So let's go on with how you make gruel. You will need fibers, as you can see there. You will need seeds and obviously fuel for the fire, so that would be wood. You can use any sort of fire. You can use a large fire or a small fire, doesn't really matter as long as you've got the ingredients. So let me just find where I put the seeds. There we go. Alright, so you put the seeds in the inventory of the fire, you put the wood in the inventory, then press the play button and wait for the magic to happen. As you can see over here, the gruel is being crafted. Alright, so now let's talk about some other requirements that are recommended for taming thralls. You will need to have some of the max strength. So strength. You will need to have the first level of strength, because that, as you can see over there, will increase your concussive damage by 100%, which does affect the torpor that the thralls will get when you hit them. You do have to hit them with a truncheon, and you will also need a rope to bind them and carry them back to your base, but we'll get into that later on. Now let me find over here where the wheel of pain is. There are several wheels of pain. There are 3 actually, to be more specific, but when starting out you will have the lesser wheel of pain. To craft the lesser wheel of pain, you will need to learn it in the feats, and I'm looking for it now to show you what it looks like and what it unlocks, because it unlocks several things. Didn't know why I looked over there. There we go. I think I just saw it there. So the lesser wheel of pain is right here. It unlocks the lesser wheel of pain, the truncheon, and the fiber bindings, as well as the thrall pot. The thrall pot will feed you thralls, so you need to put food in it, and as you place a thrall, the thrall will take 5 of the food and have it in its own inventory. Also, I do recommend that you have several truncheons with you when you go to tame thralls, because they do tend to break quite rather quick. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get on to the task of taming a thrall. The very first thing that I recommend is that you have some decent armor, something that is heavy and has also a lot of durability, or metal plated, basically something that requires metal to craft, as it will significantly reduce the amount of damage that you take, as well as it will last longer. If you try to do this with cloth, the cloth armor does break rather quick. Also, I recommend a shield, preferably a metal shield, and obviously a decent weapon, as you can kill the ones that you don't want. The shield acts as 2 things. So for example, I am now gauging which thrall to tame. Also, make sure that you are facing your opponent with the shield up. As you can see, my shield is taking damage. You can also avoid the attacks of the thralls by just moving to the side. And with the truncheon, as you can see, I'm hitting the thrall. Now the thrall has 2 bars. The top bar is a grey bar, which is the torpidity. The bottom one is, of course, the health. because you've already invested in concussive damage, you do take down the conscious level quicker with the truncheon. Notice that the truncheon is also nearly destroyed, so I do have spare truncheons. This one did work out in my favor, and with the last hit I did knock out the thrall. Now you will need, of course, the binding to carry the thrall back to your base, and to do that you must put the binding in your hotbar, take it out, or press the key associated with the binding that is in the hotbar, then press E as you're looking at the thrall. You cannot swim with the thrall and you cannot climb with the thrall, so you will need to find a path back to your base. That involves walking. I could of course cut this out, but I'm going to show you guys exactly what happened. Also, the binding that I've got, because I have used it in the past, has reduced durability, meaning it will break before I get back. So I'll show you guys what is going to happen when it does break. Obviously, I also have in my inventory fibers, so I can of course repair it when it does break. So notice that the health of the binding is going down, and it should break right about now. There we go. That is it. It's broken. So I will just press the 7 key on my keyboard, wait for it to repair, and then equip it and carry the thrall back to my base. Alright, there we go. Once you get back to your base, go to your Wheel of Pain, and the moment you activate the inventory of the Wheel of Pain, the thrall will be placed in the Wheel of Pain's inventory. Very important, you must have Grew in there. As you can see, the thrall is already in the Wheel of Pain. Just press play. With Grew, as you can see, there is a bar at the bottom, and when that fills up, that means the thrall will have been tamed. So just as an update, I've got myself some more thralls and some more Wheels of Pain, just to show you that the thrall that I showed you earlier is close to being fully tamed. That is what the bar does look like. I do have a performer ready to be tamed, or in the taming process, and it is very important to know that thralls do have different specialities, which I will cover in a bit. Okay, so now that my thrall is fully tamed, as you can see, it is just in the inventory, not in the Wheel of Fortune's inventory being tamed anymore. You can place it in your inventory. Do bear in mind that they are quite heavy. Now, this thrall is specifically a fighter, so you can use this as a guard, and you can place it in your hotbar, then press the key associated with it to pretty much get a gauge of what it looks like, and obviously find a location to place it. You can rotate the thrall by using or turning the mouse scroll wheel, and as I said before, thralls do have different functions. So as a fighter, this will guard my base. You can of course change out the gear that it's wearing with better gear, and there are different levels of thralls that you can find in the game. There are also thralls that perform different tasks around the base, such as a blacksmith, cook, carpenter, and so on. So you can associate them with those specific stations, which will mean that they will craft certain items at reduced costs. So to access the inventory, obviously press E, and as you can see, it does have some basic gear. It is cloth gear, but you can also swap it out with better gear. Now, for the purposes of this, I am using my own personal gear, as I haven't got any at the moment. And you can also equip it with better weapons. Finally, this is the performer. So I'm going to place the performer somewhere, and again I'll show you that you can of course change out the gear. Now, you can only change the gear on the thralls that are not associated to a workstation. So say for example, a thrall that you've placed at the cooking station, you'll place it by accessing the cooking station's inventory and putting the thrall in there. Once you've put it in there, you cannot access its inventory, as well the game does not allow that. So this is the dancer. Of course, this removes the corruption that you do get from certain areas on the map. It does already come with some gear, of course. I do not like the cloth materials because they are weak, and my apologies, I did not realize that removing that would cause her to show her her body parts, let's call it that. So as you can see, you can place various sorts of gears on the thralls. Obviously this is a performer, and so therefore you normally sit next to it to have your corruption removed. And finally, of course, once you have placed down a thrall, you can also move it if you decide to do so. However, it will not be placed back in your inventory. To move it, you just walk up to the thrall, press the interaction button, and then select the option to move your thrall. When you move it, you will get to see the thrall as you move it. You can climb and perform certain tasks with it, but it will not be placed back in your inventory. That is it for this video from me, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found the information in it useful. If you have, please do not forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos. And why not check out some of my other videos here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video description, as well as in a pinned comment. Until next time, stay safe, folks.